Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to the Game Brew Podcast, episode 122, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious beers, discuss video games, and we would totally download a car if it was possible. I am Dan Rotz.
I'm Chris Wrights.
I'm Allison Van Deventer.
Yay! It worked this time, I think. And maybe it's too loud, I don't know. But
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later when somebody tells us it is. And on this episode of the Game Brew Podcast, without as many technical difficulties, there's still technical difficulties, but
mostly my technical difficulties.
Technically difficult, who knows? But we're going to be talking about game items that could very well exist if we gave them the chance. But first, it's time for some bevs. Let's open up some bevs.
All right.
Chris, what are
you?
I mean, what are we drinking this week, guys?
I mean, so I'm not drinking this week on account of gout. Apparently, I have gout now at the ripe age of 32. So
that just means that you are too wealthy.
Or royal.
I had a friend who had it like at 20 something. Like it's just
it sucks, and it makes it so you can't have anything that's fun or delicious.
Oh no!
No beer, no red meat.
Oh, those are all the good things.
All the good things, can't have them. So this week I'm just drinking the other Nectar of the Gods, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Diet Dr. Pepper. Hannah hates Dr. Pepper.
I love Dr. Pepper.
No,
oh my goodness!
I'm questioning your relationship now.
Well,
we didn't know this about her. We're concerned.
She's great.
She's great, but
she's great. That's the only problem is that the Dr. Pepper thing. But it's okay.
Is it?
It's fine. It's
right.
fine. It could be worse.
So.
It could be worse. Allison, what are you drinking this week?
Okay, so I literally just bolted in the door. Sorry, like 5 minutes ago. I know, like disheveled, but I have a great sweater on.
That is.
That's what matters.
Oh, that's so cute.
Were you doing anything cool?
Look at the corgi butts.
Corgi butts.
Corgi butt.
That's so
No,
cute.
That's not a
nothing-
butt. That's a face.
Nothing to really talk about. Well, this one's got a butt,
Oh, okay.
and the butt's over here. So anyway,
Everything has butts, you know.
Everything has butts.
So I just grabbed out of my freezer this, which I had from a previous drink I did, the Smirnoff Pink Lemonade. So we're just gonna take a shot. That's my life.
Is it delicious?
We didn't have time to make a drink. It's pretty good. I don't know.
How many?
Hold on, let me see if I remember it because it was mixed with something last time.
Oh yeah.
It's actually really good.
Does it just taste like pink lemonade?
I feel like I remember you not like. Maybe it was a different one.
I think it was because it was mixed with something. I think
it was
that's
probably
because
it was mixed. Yeah.
Is that it was mixed with something and that wasn't great.
That wasn't great, but this is good by itself. I dig this.
That's bad.
I mean, it's Smirnoff though, so like it kind of tastes like lighter fluid.
It's whatever you can. I mean, the best kind of lighter fluid that you could possibly get.
Pink lemonade flavored lighter fluid.
While you are all here drinking beer, I'm drinking a nice tall glass of Halo Infinite. Yes.
That sounds frothy and delicious.
It does sound frothy and delicious. But speaking of frothy and delicious, I am drinking, I have to adjust my camera. I am drinking a beer by Captain Lawrence Brewing Company. It's a limited edition with Carvel. It is Fudgy the beer.
Like Carvel,
the
ice cream company?
The ice cream company. It's Fudgy the
Cool.
beer, which is based off the Fudgy the whale cake that you can get.
Oh
That's
man,
so cool.
is it good?
It's a dark roasty and fudgy collaboration with Carvel.
Can you really taste the fudge?
It's good. It's like it's good because it's like it gives you notes of kind of like what I expect Fudgy the whale to taste like if he were a beer, but he's not a beer, he's a whale.
I don't know how I feel about your description.
Yeah, I'm are we doing phrasing?
We're always
making
doing
me
phrasing.
Really uncomfortable.
We're always doing phrasing.
I mean, no, it sounds. I mean, is it pretty sweet or is it like?
It's not really sweet. It definitely has. So it's like a porter or a stout.
Okay.
So it's very toasty. There's less chocolate notes than I'd like.
Yeah.
It.
Okay.
But it
I feel like
is.
those can be so hit and miss.
It's it's hard. It's good. Like it's good for what it is, but for what it
Did you
is,
get it again?
I would not buy it again. It's definitely definitely like a kitschy beer. Like
Yeah.
I would not get this
You
regularly.
bought it
because
of the label.
because of Fudgy the beer.
Right. Fudgy the beer, yeah.
Fudgy the beer. It's fine. I'd rather drink some other things, and this was too expensive for what it was. But that's just because it was a limited edition. So
Yeah.
I think it was for four of these big boys. It was like $18, $18 or $19. So
That makes me sad.
yeah, a lot of things make me sad.
But what makes you happy?
Video games and beer and you guys. So
Right. There you go.
that's it. This is all the best stuff that there could possibly be. So speaking, is the Dan cam still the Dan cam? It is. It's just weird. Hold on. I'm gonna check the Chris cam. There's the Chris cam. Chris
That's
cam is
me.
good. How's the Allison cam? It's a little funky. Hold on. I'm gonna adjust it. Alt. There we go. Make her bigger. There's Allison. Beautiful face, Allison. And then here's me. I'm all sorts of out of whack. While I'm adjusting my face, I'm going to talk about some of the stuff. So, we could. Anybody been playing anything interesting this week, or do you want to talk about the Game Awards?
That's a
I
good
already said I
question.
was good with Game Awards.
I have been playing something I haven't played for a little while.
Mhm.
Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. It's something I think it came out around the beginning of the pandemic.
Mhm.
But the company that released it is very good about updating their games.
Okay.
And so I've just been checking it out, and it seems like they've added not just like it doesn't just run smoother. It also has like little quality of life updates and like different things that they've added. Basically, the premise of the game is it's kind of a mix between RTS and RPG. So you start out as like a person with like one horse and no one following you, and you can get followers and create like an army around you, and then you can either join another faction or try to create your own faction and get like castles and towns and stuff.
Nice.
So it's kind of it's right up my alley.
That sounds
the
like a
RTS stuff-
wickedly Chris game.
Yeah.
it's the RTS stuff is not very good. It's not very well done, but it's I don't know. The RPG stuff is fun. And it's just a big sandbox.
Okay. So is it like Brutal Legend style RTS where it's like pretty basic whenever it comes to doing it?
Yeah, it's probably a little more than that. It basically you can tell your troops they're grouped in different formations, and you can tell them, okay, you can follow me or advance or charge, and I usually just end up telling them to charge.
Yeah, just charge.
It's too much because I'm focused on cutting people down with my sword. So.
Slicey.
But
Nice.
yeah, I've been checking that out, and they've done a lot of cool stuff with it.
Very nice. Very nice. Allison, have you been playing anything interesting? That's a no. That's a head shake. From
No,
Allison.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm good to talk about games, the Video Game Awards, if you want to. Really
We could do
quickly.
that. I just want to say two things. Number one, Halo Infinite came out, and I'm enjoying it.
The single player or the
yeah,
the multiplayer.
the
earlier,
multiplayer's been out, and they're still going to be tweaking things to multiplayer. But the Halo Infinite campaign came out, and it's fun. It's very fun.
Is it just more Halo?
There's some different stuff to it because it's more open world. It's more open world.
Okay.
Like there's not like the classic sort of here's a level, play it through. Here's a level, play it through. It's like the first couple levels are like that, and then it's open world. I haven't really explored too much of it, so I don't want to talk about it just yet. But
how does the open world work? If that's
it's like it's an open world. Like it's
like,
just
a guy and he's like, hey, you got to go do this, and you're like, cool, let me go do.
Yeah, you have mission objectives, and then you go like to take down bases, which are
Okay.
kind of like their own like little areas. But again, I haven't done a whole lot of it yet, so that's why I don't really want to talk too much about it. I will say that the gunplay is fun. The Halo-ness of it is great. There is so much dialogue that comes from the enemies that is hilarious and great.
Like especially the grunts.
Especially the grunts.
Yeah.
I saw one thing where there was a grunt who did like the suicide grunt where he had two of the things. He's just running at you with them, and he's going, "I didn't mean to turn these on. I didn't mean to turn these on." Ah! And it was really funny. So,
I love them. I'm glad they're leaning into them.
yeah, it's like real hard. Like the dialogue is very, very interesting.
Did I also see that you were playing
Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah.
Yes, because it was 50% off in the GOG store.
Nice.
So I got that,
Ooh,
and they've
cool.
made a lot of so far I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't see any issues. So they must have cleared up a lot of the problems that were with it, at least from the get-go.
Now people are complaining that they haven't added any new content.
Well, at least they're to that point now where it's not just
Yeah.
Where that's the complaint, rather than
not
the game is
your game
unplayable
is
and
broken.
my junk is outside my pants.
It wasn't unplayable before. I mean, I put 80 or 100 hours into it.
79 point something is what you're at, Chris.
Okay, my bad.
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's get this factual.
Yeah. Game Brew Facts.
Game Brew Facts. Yep.
But yeah, I'm playing it. I'm in the beginning. I don't want to talk about any of these things because I want to like get a much fuller experience of them first before I go deep into it. But it's fun so far. I mean, it's cyberpunky. It's like a RPG, collecting a lot of loot and guns and stuff, and
the soundtrack's cool.
Soundtrack's really loud. So
T Stark says,
right, that's what I said. Cool.
T Stark 115 in chat says, "I'm reliving my middle school and high school days playing Halo. I'm truly living my best life, and I'm so glad Halo is back and way better than Halo 5."
Nice.
It is better than Halo 5. That is definitely true.
I'm glad to hear it's back and like returned to form. Unlike other games that released last month.
But there's also the Game Awards happened Thursday, Friday, one of those days.
This past week.
They happened. So I just wanted to go through quick. This is our this is the part of the episode where we talk about whatever I want to talk about, and that thing that is the Game Awards. So we're going to talk about. So first of all,
okay,
Game of the Year.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two.
Allison has been very interested in that game, or very.
Look, guys, I told you on an episode that game was the best game I had played in a long time. Yeah. And I genuinely feel that way.
That last episode.
Yeah, and it's so deserved. Good. I had no idea that won Game of the Year. Good. It needs it.
It did. And you know what? A lot of people were like, initially, whenever it came out, some people were like kind of meh about it. But I think everybody kind of realized that, oh, wait, it is a great game and has good stuff. Mm-hmm. The best game direction was Deathloop.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. It's like an interesting new concept, I guess.
Yeah.
They're at least trying something new.
Right. Best narrative was Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which I have heard is an amazing game. Like,
I haven't heard anything about it.
Apparently it's amazing.
You know what's interesting is I haven't heard anything about it since we talked about it on the podcast, and I said I had a lot of concerns about the way the story would land with people who weren't into the comics
and apparently
only knew the movies. So that's great.
Let's see. Best art direction, Deathloop. Apparently, is very pretty as well. Best score / music, Nier Replicant version 1.22. Wait, version 0.1.22474487139.
Well, isn't this a remaster?
Yes.
That shouldn't count. That's stupid.
It was up against The Artful Escape, which honestly I thought that one. I talked about that before with the guy with the guitar who's jumping around doing crazy stuff. That was really good. Best audio design for Forza Horizon 5, which
makes sense.
Car stuff. Best performance for an individual voice actor, Maggie Robertson from Resident Evil Village.
Lady Dimitrescu.
I think she was. Hold on.
Is that because they couldn't give her an award for most likely to step on someone and have them enjoy it?
That's like the underscore of that.
Yes,
award.
she was Lady Dimitrescu.
They were like, "How do we give this an award when it was just really a meme all year?"
The games for impact, for thought-provoking games with pro-social meaning or message, Life is Strange: True Colors.
Cool.
I've
Haven't
never
played
played any of the Life is Strange
No.
games. People talk
I
about
I
heard
them.
they're good.
really, really love the Life is Strange games, but I haven't played that one yet. I need to do it. I need to just buckle down.
Do.
Best ongoing game.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy
14.
14
That just came out with a new expansion, correct?
Endwalker. Yeah, that just came out.
And I've heard very good things about it.
I think it's really a testament to how Final Fantasy 14 has changed, like how it was so bad and then they fixed it and they made it better and now it's like huge. A lot of streamers play it. Everyone really gets into their Final Fantasy 14 characters.
I think it's interesting, considering we've, a few times have had, I think Fee's discussed it. I don't know. Has he discussed it on the podcast where he's like not into it when he was so into it back in the day? Because the content now, he said, feels weak. But I think you're right, where the big thing moving was like people coming from WoW to that because everybody dropped WoW at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think as far as like starting from the beginning, the game is fresh. I think the end content was where the issues were for him. So.
Yeah. So like newbies like me were like, oh, there's a lot of stuff to do. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Best indie game and best debut indie game, Kena Bridge of Spirits, which only came out in September. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
So if anyone has played Kena Bridge of Spirits, let me know how it is.
Oh, looks good. Interesting. I'm looking at it now. Definitely a pretty art style. I hadn't heard anything about it though. I will have to do.
I think I saw a preview of it and I thought it looked really neat, and then I heard nothing else about it. Best mobile game, Genshin Impact. I think we all could have seen that happen.
Yeah, of course.
Best community support, Final Fantasy 14 Online.
Pretty cool.
This is kind of funny. Best VR was Resident Evil 4. Because they released the VR version of it, and I think that's just hilarious that Resident Evil 4 is on there.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the next. I feel like VR was kind of quiet this year.
I think it was quiet. I don't think VR's ever going to be loud. It's kind of just there, and it's just another thing.
Right, but like Beat Saber kind of brought it up a little bit, and so did the only game that Valve's released in a long time, the Half-Life.
Alex, Half-Life Alex. The with the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is really good too. I need to get back into playing that. It's just scary zombies. Let's see.
I think we're starting a petition. What do you guys think of doing our own video game awards during our 24-hour stream?
Absolutely.
We could do that. Yeah, we can do that.
People need to submit categories though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we will have to.
Yeah, and none of these BS categories that mean something. We need the most meaningless categories. Yeah. This is a pretty cool category: innovation in accessibility. Recognizing software and or hardware that's pushing the medium forward and adding features, technology, content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience, which is great. And that's Forza Horizon 5.
Do they say what it was that let it win? Or
I don't know, but I'm assuming that it probably has a lot of customization possibilities for differently abled gamers who are differently abled.
I'm surprised Far Cry 6 is on that list.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it must have a lot of custom ways for you to customize control schemes and setups to make everything.
I think that's cool that that's a category, because I think it just puts that into developers' forefront of their mind when they're not thinking about that probably when they're releasing games. I love that just being a category is probably making them think about it, Yeah. So that's very cool.
And then we get into the categories. Best action game, Returnal. Chris, you have to play that so you can tell me how it is. People rave about it.
People do?
People. They do.
Yeah,
people
say.
You know what they say? People be raving. Best action adventure game, Metroid Dread. I know there are some people who would love that. Best RPG, Tales of Arise or Arise. I think it's Arise.
it was a soft year for RPGs, I guess.
Well,
'Cause none of
Cyberpunk
those are
27,
particular-
Monster Hunter
I mean-
Rise wasn't great. Scarlet Nexus was okay. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think Tales of Arise did really good though. I think
Yeah,
people really
I
like
have
that
to
one.
look at that. I was just looking at that. It looks interesting.
Best fighting game, Guilty Gear Strive. I like that. Guilty Gear's always been a really good fighting game. I'm glad that they're on the top of that.
Seeing others on the list, there's Nickelodeon
All-Star
Nickelodeon
Brawl.
All-Star Brawl.
Yes.
Isn't there like a Warner Brothers one coming out as well?
Yeah, Allison, you're muted.
No, sorry, you guys can keep going. If I mute myself.
What did you say? What did you say?
It's so funny to me that that's on there because like that game is talked about more than I feel like it should be.
Mm-hmm.
As far as those go, as like a big second standard. If I mute myself, it's because I'm typing because I'm doing like Game Brew things in the background. So I'm sorry.
Not sorry at all. Not sorry at all. She just wants to make faces at us the whole time. I have the best family game, It Takes Two, as the winner.
I like that a family game won best overall though. That's cool.
I like that, but I also would disagree that it's a family game because only 2 people can play.
Well, I think by family it's probably about a rating, not about because Pokemon Snap is a 1-person game.
That's true. That's true.
So, like,
okay.
Pokemon Snap's probably the most fun game for me to watch someone else play.
Gotcha. You're right. You're right, Chris. You're always right. Best sports racing game, Forza Horizon 5. Surprise. Best sim strategy game, Age of Empires 4.
I've played that a little bit. It's a really good RTS.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more. It's more.
It's not really pushing the boundary of it though. Like,
yeah, but it's just more Age of Empires. That's what. Like,
good.
and when you
something
ask,
that's really solid is what's going to win.
Yeah, it's super solid. I'm surprised Flight Simulator didn't though.
I think it's so niche. It's so niche. Flight Simulator.
And I feel like I didn't hear great stuff about Evil Genius 2, but apparently it's okay or pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's on there. It's on the list.
Played the first one back in the day.
Moving on. Best multiplayer game, It Takes Two. Add that onto there.
Of course.
And then we have the content creators. So content creator of the year was Dream. That person. Esports athlete, Alexander Simple Kosteliev. Best esports coach, Kim Kikoma Junghyun. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I don't see it, but we're going to believe you.
Best esports event 2021 League of Legends World Championship. I can't imagine. These are the categories where we're like, did that need to be a thing?
Yeah, I mean,
think
it's kind of cool though that they're like kind of supporting, and
I think it's because they want to grow it. They want to make like esports events like Super Bowls.
Okay.
So I think that's the whole reason.
The other, and then best esports game, League of Legends. What other ones are there going to be? I mean, the other ones were Call of Duty, CS:GO, Dota 2, and Valorant. So of course it's going to go to League of Legends. It's still best esports team, Natus Vincere.
Interesting.
CS:GO. And then most anticipated game is Elden Ring.
Surprise.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
We all kind of.
Well, no. Warhammer Total War 3.
We'll do it. No, but there was also I was going to say those are all the things, but the thing that we all were really happy about. Oh,
Space Marine 2.
No, not that.
No.
No, Alan Wake 2. They announced Alan Wake 2.
Meh.
What?
Space Marine 2.
Well, there was also what, a Wonder Woman game that's coming out that
could be cool.
teased.
It's by the same people that did Lord of the Rings, I think.
Yep. Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga.
It's probably going to be good. The
first one was great. The Elden Ring cinematic trailer. There's going to be the Paramount Plus Halo series that's going to be coming out. And then there was an Unreal 5 engine demo for the Matrix Series X, which was interesting. But that's it.
I looked at a bunch of It sucks that when they do like these announcement trailers, they don't really show much other than just the trailer for it. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see like what the game is actually going to look like.
Well, it's hard to do that because they want to show you something, but they're like, and they always say it's like, this is not actual game footage.
They want that tease. They gotta hook you.
Tease us. I'm gonna tease. But that was the Game Awards. The only complaint that I heard from the Game Awards was that it was too dang long. Everyone was.
I mean, that's a lot of categories.
It's a lot of categories, and also they kind of like dragged everything out a lot.
And they had a lot of really cool presenters.
They did.
Like they had Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves reveal the trailer for The Matrix Awakens, which is awesome.
That is great. Hannah is watching the Matrix movies right now.
Wasn't Keanu at the last Video Game Awards too?
He was at E3, I think, for
E3.
Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, because isn't that where he was like, thank you? Someone was like, we love you. He's like, no, we love you.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to remember what it was from.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Game Awards. Anything that you hated about that list of things I said?
Not personally, but like I don't feel like I've been in the know as much as I normally am about game releases. So some of those were just completely foreign to me.
Yeah, maybe I'm just kind of out of the loop, but I feel like I'm mostly just waiting for next year because I feel like there's a ton of stuff getting released next year.
Yeah. Oh, and guys, if you're gonna put categories for us to do for our Game Awards, put them in the Discord by going to bit.ly/discobrew. I
made a channel for it to make this less confusing.
Yeah. And put them there because I'm not gonna remember what's in the chat right now.
No, it's fine. I'm copy pasting.
Allison's on top of it, but I am very lazy, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah.
And every time you think of one, you just slap it right in there.
That's what she said. But now that we've successfully talked about the Game Awards, done it. Now we're going to talk about our topic for the next however many minutes we have left, which is because of an article that Allison found about.
Yeah.
Allison, you run it down for me.
Okay. So I found a Kotaku article that I thought was really interesting for a couple of reasons. There was an indie developer that claimed a Russian arms manufacturer named Kalashnikov. I really might be.
It's Kalashnikov. That's like the company that made the AK-47.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Kalashnikov then stole their weapon design and turned it into a real shotgun. So that's the basic of the article. I'll post it in our Discord as well if anyone wants to read it after the fact. But we're going to drill it down, so you don't have to. So I thought it was really interesting. They were in the works with this arms manufacturer to develop some of their art designs for their game into real life weapons because the company loved their designs so much. Specifically, the one in question is a gun they're calling the game company Ward B is calling the Mastodon. And they say that it was developed into this weapon MP155 Ultima. And the company even said that this gun was inspired by video games in marketing of it, which I think is kind of interesting in and of itself to market a gun that way. But they're not identical. If you look at them side by side, and I'll post the pictures.
Slightly different.
They are slightly different. But there's enough there, and specifically there was like some design things like this L divot that was in the gun that had no reason to be there other than aesthetic. That was literally ripped into the new design, and that's how Ward B says they know that this was just taken from them because they stopped discussing like working with them. They were going to have their logo on the gun and all of these things, and then all of a sudden just went dead silent with it. And the company then releases this gun, and apparently the company even reached out to the artist directly and asked him to sell the design to them and go around the video game company entirely. So that makes it feel really shady. And then that didn't happen. And the gun company's stance is, yes, we worked with someone else and got this design from them. It had nothing to do with that team, which this gun has now, in a weird circle of events, has been released in a video game called Escape from Tarkov. I'm sure
So
many people know that game. So this gun, yeah, that was allegedly swiped from a company's design for a video game that hasn't released yet. This gun is now released in a video game that is out now. So that's really shitty for this poor
video game company.
Yeah, poor Ward B. They're really just getting dealt the worst hands of it all. So I find this whole topic interesting in and of itself, but it kind of led to another thing. So do we just want to talk about like the topic and how we feel about this whole thing first?
Like, I mean, I just think like that's a mess. My feelings are very abrupt, which is, yeah, they should have copywritten it and not worked with this company before they copywrote their designs for it.
I mean, I assume that Ward B did copyright it.
Or not. I mean, if they went to the individual artist, maybe the artist had the copyright for it still.
Right. Yeah. And that's where I think this will become a legal mess, and it'll take a lot of like unpacking. And the question is, could a small indie developer actually go against an arms dealer financially? And
probably not.
Definitely
not an upcoming one that hasn't like released a game. Like this could,
right.
If they fight this, they could just bleed themselves dry.
Yeah.
Right. Which is where this becomes more of I feel like a social argument and we'll never see legal light. I mean, if they could prove it, and I think it's difficult because it isn't a 1-for-1 match, right? This is all about.
Yeah, it's like it's not exactly the same. It has this little thing on it that's different. So
right, it's going to be about aesthetics, and it's going to be like it is for music. I feel like where somebody doesn't directly sample something, so how does it qualify? And I don't think like a small game company can fight this battle because it's going to be too difficult. And I feel so bad for them because if they were working with them and all of this happened, they feel clearly they know what happened, right? But legally it's just going to be so difficult to prove.
Yeah, and it's one of those things they're probably going to have to decide whether they really want to fight this or just kind of let it happen or create like a new weapon on their own, like for their thing.
Or just, I mean, it's a pick your battles sort of situation.
Yeah,
you know. Do you want to fight it or just put it on the internet and just be mad?
I don't feel like that's going to see the light of day. I'm glad Ward B has like articles out there discussing it because I think it's important to put out there that this is a thing that's happening. And I don't think there's a good way for video game companies to protect their rights in this situation. And that makes it really weird and really difficult. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, is just to kind of bring awareness to this as an issue as a whole, because I think it's going to come more and more as like video games are so popular, they're bleeding into real life for things.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, that was the other thing we wanted to talk about, right? Which was things in video games that are close to real life that could be things, right? that could exist. Because I think that's cool. I want to start with one that kind of already does exist, but I want it to exist in like the truest sense, which is waypoints and mini maps. You know, you ever play video games and you get like a nice yellow line?
You can kind of do that with like Google Maps.
Yeah, you can. That's where I want to like. I want it to be like. I wear glasses. If you haven't seen me or you're not looking at the screen, I wear glasses. And I want a little like heads up display that shows like a line that I can follow to go where I need to go.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know exactly what, I think it was Google and maybe Apple were also working on smart glasses, but like that would
Google
be cool.
Glasses, yeah, weren't they pulled because people were like having accidents and
yeah, we're like running into stuff and like getting electrocuted and all this other kind of stuff.
So it's not there yet, but the tech tried.
It's good, but I want a heads up display that shows me like a little yellow line that tells me exactly where to go, that I can ignore and go over grass fields to make shortcuts, stuff like that. Like I'm playing Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, interesting. Gray says they have that for motorcycle helmets.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Also,
super cool.
Seems like it would be very distracting though, especially.
I mean, kind of, but like it's GPS, right? It's no distracting than it is in a car.
I don't know. I just doing anything other than driving it on a 2-wheel death machine is flabbergasting to me. Oh, and it also shows you what's behind you, is what Grayman says, which is
that's really, really cool.
It's pretty neat.
Wow. That's interesting.
Something I want but probably won't get is chain swords on assault rifles.
You want that. You.
I mean,
I don't
want it to happen to me, but like,
but I want to have it. It exists.
I want it to exist, though. Those are so cool.
Okay. How often in your life do you feel like you're going to use that when it's out?
Well, I'll have to. I mean, you could defend your property and chop down trees at the same time.
Yeah, you could chop. Yeah, or you could chop down trees and protect your property from 30 to 50 wild boars or something like that. Wild pigs.
Look, if there's a zombie apocalypse, which feels more and more likely as the years go by, I am with you, Chris, and I support this existing.
More realistically, though, so in Fallout, you have your Pip-Boy that it's basically a giant watch. It's also a phone that's it's basically like you can slap a smartphone to your wrist. But the thing that I would want from it is that it can tell you like health information. So like how your limbs are doing, or like if you're sick and what you're sick with. Because it would be cool to like have that, just like, this is what's wrong with you. This is what you need to get to fix it, kind of thing. And I feel like that could happen.
If we could have something that is like constantly tracking your medical, it's like all the wires that they put on you in the hospital and like the EKG machines and like the heart and like the blood alcohol monitors and like all this kind, or the blood oxygen monitor, excuse me. I need a blood alcohol monitor. It would just be like one little thing on your wrist that you could look at and it would tell you all the stuff. I'd be interested in the fact that it would tell me what's in my inventory. So it'd be like, oh, did I have my wallet with me today? Oh yeah, my wallet. I got my wallet. We're good.
Nice.
I've only got $3.
I know there's stuff now that tells you like it can tell you heart rate and steps and stuff, but I think you can also see like sleep stuff and maybe oxygen level. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I looked into one, actually getting one. I think it was the Fitbit, the like highest
like the
level
newest Fitbit
watch. Does all of that, which I thought was really interesting. But it also makes you question, how accurate is this? Because I know like for oxygen levels, you really need that on your finger. I don't know. It makes me question some of those things. But I would love a really accurate one, because I almost bought that just because it was kind of as close as you can get to really seeing those things.
And it could also tell you your health from a number from like 1 to 276 or something.
That's crazy.
You stub your toe. It's like, I'm at 254.
You did 12 damage to your toe.
Oh, good. Allison, what did you want?
So, okay, here's my like ridiculous one. I want teleporters so bad. That's the one that's really unrealistic, but I feel like we should be there in technology and we're nowhere near it. And we have to waste time on stupid things that anyway,
wait, hold
that's
on.
a whole thing.
No, hold on. I want to go back and circle about it. You think that if we weren't spending as much time on stupid things, we would be closer to disassembling matter, somehow transporting it through the ether, and reassembling the matter in the right way in another location?
I do think we would be closer.
Okay, carry on.
I do think so. I don't know. That's a whole
whole that of all science fiction things, to me, that's like the thing that would like the Fly, Inside Out pigs from Galaxy Quest, like that is terrifying. I would not want to do that.
We're having trouble having people believe that science is real, and I just feel like if we weren't having those hurdles, we would be so much closer to the extreme and crazy like that. Okay,
yeah, you're probably
that's
right.
what I believe.
I think we should get our scientists working on the tube technology first.
Tubes, series of tubes. We've already got a series of tubes. It's called the internet.
So anyway, that's my extreme one that is so far off, but I just want it so desperately. I think about it far too often. I don't know if anybody else does things like that, where they just like there'll be something happening and they're like, if only teleporters exist. And I'm not kidding, guys. That is like a weekly thought I have. A weekly thought.
It usually happens to me when I'm hungover and I have to drive a really long way.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one. But I mean, I think about it all the time. It's crazy. Okay, so that one consumes my identity. However, my like more realistic one, and I don't even know if this is more realistic, and I might be breaking my own rules I said here. Okay, so I want, because it's not really
rules here.
yeah, I said it needed to be from a video game, but look, walk with me on this adventure. Let's see if I can wrap this around and make it qualify as close as I can.
Right.
So I want to have a Sword Art Online kind of experience in my game.
Like where you get sucked into the game, basically?
Where you're in a VR system, but it's completely immersive.
So you like feel things, you can taste things. Sorry,
right.
Hannah had to plug her.
No,
I was
you're
confused
totally
about what Hannah wanted. She wanted to plug her computer in for charging, but I thought she wanted the charger, so I went down to get the charger.
You're good. So that's what I want. I want that. I want the kind of like Ready Player One.
Yeah, Ready Player One is what I was going to say.
Yeah, there's lots of things of this. What is the other?
The Matrix.
Gant.
Yeah,
Am I getting my titles wrong? Gant, right? Gant Zero.
So they're kind of close. You can get like with VR stuff, you can get like haptic response vests and stuff like that to like feel when like, things touch you.
It's not really there yet. Like the tech just isn't at that level that I've seen in those.
You want it to
scenarios.
be able to
it has to be like you have to like basically be put to sleep.
Right. I need to be unconscious, but like be conscious in that world. You know what I mean? Like I want that full experience. And if the waiver to play this said like the scenarios that are in those worlds a lot of the time is if you die in the game, you could die in real life.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
I would still do it. And I know that's messed up. I would still do it.
Like if I was like I was pretty old, and like you wouldn't be old in the game. That would be like the best way to go out.
That'd be kind of interesting.
You're not wrong, and I'm thinking about it from my age now and thinking I'd still do it, but I don't know. Maybe that says a lot about me, and everybody's just learned more than they need to, and they know I'm more fucked up than they thought.
I mean, I mean, if it weren't for the whole plot of Sword Art Online being that if you die in the game, you die for real.
I'm down though.
I wouldn't be, because I would be immediately. Like, I die a lot in video games.
but it would make you be like you would just become that person in this game.
No, I would just live like a normal guy. Then it would just be boring in the video game
See,
world.
I wouldn't. Oh man, I wouldn't. I would like live my best life, going on these adventures, gaining my XP, taking it to the edge of what I know I'm capable of, but still being cautious enough that I don't think I'm going to die. Like I would be right there. I would be so in it, guys. I'd
kill so many boars at the beginning just
to just all the boars and then move forward.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But anyway, that's my dream.
I have been playing a lot of Death Stranding lately, and there's a lot of things in that are kind of interesting. Aside from the whole like death of humanity, rain makes you older, babies, sort of stuff.
Babies of the future.
Babies of the future. There is one thing, like number one, electric cars are, becoming more of a thing. Like I see Teslas all over the freaking place now. But one of the things in the game is you can build these roads, and on the roads it has like a center strip where if you drive on it, you don't use any battery for your car or like your vehicle, because like induction. I'm like, that would be really cool if there was like a lane that was for electric cars that use like induction technology, and it would like, you wouldn't use battery from your car as you're driving on it because you're using the battery that's like on the network. And
I feel like you're right. I don't think it's that far off, because I've heard of there being like,
yes, T-Star, I love it.
The idea of doing solar powered roads.
Yeah.
Or like basically the roads being made out of solar panels.
So, yeah, which makes so much sense. Solar panels are so versatile. You could use them, put them on anything. You put them on anything.
Put them on a solar panel one day.
As far as our chat goes, Coffee said he wants a Spartan suit. And I think that's the only person who said an item that they wanted from a video game. What about a Spartan suit specifically do you want, Coffee? And
Or
is it just like power armor? Like
Or-
just in general power type armor?
Or is
Yeah.
it like you want to be part of the Spartan program, be like 8 feet tall, giant rippling muscles?
who wants that? Ugh.
Oh, gross.
Well,
No, that's
both.
another thing that would be cool is like a big stompy mech suit.
Like a real versatile big stompy mech suit.
Your
Yeah.
only goal is to flip a car with these. All right, now we know that is why he wants.
There
it.
is a market for that. You know, first responders, you know, people, emergency technicians, someone's trapped under a car.
Car flipping competitions.
Car flipping
We can do
competition.
that with subway
That's important.
maintenance car. Not flipping cars.
So, do you want to know that I read that and I was just like, subway maintenance, like the restaurants, like the maintenance staff at the subway,
Fresh?
eating fresh. Those no, but Chad, if you have another thing that you wish was real, we're gonna keep talking.
Oh, wait.
about
T
this.
Stark says, "I want an AI named Cortana." Oh wait.
Oh wait, it exists.
Oh.
Perfect. I mean, considering.
All right.
No, I think you're gonna have somebody upset that you wanted Cortana though, but we won't go there.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it should be either.
With a name like T Stark.
Yeah, it should be Jarvis or Gal Friday, which is great. Wasn't that a reference to like the Avengers series, like the British Avengers? I don't remember what Gal Friday
what do you
was
mean?
from. So
I mean, in the movie, it was just like whatever build. It was the Friday build. So.
yeah, but
I mean, it was
Oh man, Japan is already
Friday
starting to give
was
first
like-
responders exosuits. That's awesome.
oh, that's great.
like, so Friday was like an acronym. I remember that. I just don't remember what the acronym was for, so I was going to look it up, but if anybody knows, they can say it. But it was also like at the time when that was released in the comics, like a Gal Friday or a Man Friday was like your go-to person.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of where it came from. But I don't remember what the actual acronym was.
Oh,
It's female replacement intelligent digital assistant youth.
hold on.
There you go.
So this term comes from Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe from 1719, in which Crusoe found a young savage on a Friday, and this man became his faithful servant and companion on the desert island. I take my man Friday with me, said Crusoe. So
Yeah, I knew that was it, but I'm so glad I knew the acronym because I could not remember it. Female replacement intelligent digital assistant youth. There you go. Now we all know.
I mean, but we all really kind of do have Cortanas now. Like there's the Google assistants, Alexa, there's Cortana.
But I think what
Microsoft One-Man
people
Cortana and
what people always want that the current ones don't have, and why somebody would say they want Cortana is it's a companion. It's not just somebody who answers your questions. It's like somebody who
like
actually
someone
has
you
a
could talk to.
conversation.
You wanted
Yeah.
an actual artificial intelligence.
and like
I
video
feel like,
game
yes,
Cortana had a
that's what-
personality.
Exactly, because it's like a
And
real person.
Curves. That was another thing that she
It's
had.
true. It's true.
And then
Yes.
in Halo Infinite, this is actually kind of cool. In Halo Infinite, the AI that they have in this one, it's not Cortana. It is like wearing a UNSC uniform, so it's not just like a blue naked lady.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
it's
Well,
like a person.
back when Halo first came out, you couldn't really tell it was a blue naked lady. It was kind of just a blue naked blob.
That's true.
It's true.
It's very pixely.
Coffee also said Dead Space telekinesis, and Gray said
Ooh.
Dead Space Cutter too. So here's the thing: like, I would say those are more in the like more impossible things to have category.
I don't
Although,
think
Really?
yes.
I don't think a Dead Space Cutter would be.
Okay, let's
No, Dead Space
take a pause here.
telekinesis.
Let's take a pause here. You think that teleportation technology is possible, but you
No,
don't
I don't.
think
I said that was
telekinesis
my-
technology is
No,
possible.
no, I said that was my extreme out of the world isn't going to happen thing, but I think we would be closer if people believed in science and we didn't have to waste time teaching people that science is real.
I mean,
I think telekinesis maybe with like
magnets,
sort of magnets or like sucking air or something. I don't know, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
feel like that's more.
I feel like we're
than,
closer to that than disassembling matter down to its base parts and then sending it
I
through
think
the
we're
ether.
closer to that.
I don't think so.
We could argue about this for a day.
We could be. I mean, we don't really. I don't think we could because
ridiculous.
That's
they're
fine.
both ridiculous.
I mean, they are both ridiculous, but I mean, come on.
Yes, our goal was like things that are just out of reach, kind of idea, coffee.
Or like we think we could see in our lifetimes.
Yeah, but like the Dead Space cutter, that could definitely be a thing.
Yeah, that definitely could.
Like I feel
So
like there's somebody
I
who's
just-
made one already.
I just saw a video on Reddit of a dude who made like a plasma cutter that's basically a lightsaber.
Yeah, I've seen that
yeah.
guy. But
Yeah.
also the battery that you have to have for that thing is very dangerous to have.
Yeah, he's like
Not
wearing it on his
to
back.
Yeah,
mention-
it's like, oh.
Not to
He,
mention
like-
the plasma cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he has it like next to his face, and he's like, "It's 4,000 degrees." I'm like, why is
Why
it
are you
next to your
holding it so
face?
close to your face? Hold it
Like, it's
away
just
from
melting
you.
through iron and like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let's
Well,
see.
I think that probably wraps us up. Yeah.
If nobody else has any other burning questions, any
Well, we can end for the sake of recording, and then we can talk.
let's see. Well, we'll end for the sake of recording.
And then we'll talk.
And then we'll talk. So thank you for joining us on the Game Brew podcast. If you're listening at home, thank you for joining us on this wonderful episode. If you want to come hang out with us, you could do that by going to bit.ly/discobrew. That's bit.ly/discobrew, DISCOBREW.
And you can join us on our next recording, which will be December 26th. Are we doing that day? I just thought about it.
Probably not.
Probably not. That's a good point. We'll announce our date.
We'll
in the
tell you
Discord.
whenever the next one is, because we
So
didn't
that-
think about that ahead of time. It's December.
That should be
Everything's
anyway,
crazy.
But you can follow us on twitch.tv/thegamebrew, and you can get our notifications for when we're live, and we'll talk about when our next day is on all of our socials. So
Yeah, and all those socials are at the Game Brew on everything.
and we have our 24-hour stream coming up in the next couple weeks. We'll decide that date and announce it also.
Might be more than a couple weeks if
We'll see.
if Dan wants
Might
to
be in
be available.
January.
Might be in January.
We'll see. Apparently, we'll see.
We'll see, because December's very busy for Dan right now. So
All right. Well, let's say good night, everybody.
all right, so here we go. We're gonna say good night, everybody, and 3, 2, 1.
Good night.
Good night,
night,
everybody.
And then stop on stop, hop on pop,
We don't do that anymore.
slop on nops,
What do you guys want to play?
water your crops.